There is this notion out there that writing is solely an individual activity, that good writing comes from deep within the individual, right to the page, and into the reader's minds. This message comes to us from our media, from the writers we romanticize, from our friends, pretty much everywhere. And to a certain extent this message is true, but it's not the whole story. The problem is that people tend to extend this image of the solitary author to the entire writing process, creating a belief that writing comes from deep within a person, onto the page, into its intended audience. In some instances, mostly personal ones, this is the case. You write a poem, you hand it to your audience, done. But in professional and academic writing, there is a very crucial step in the writing process, the inclusion of others. Writing is not a two-step process of one, writing, and two, your audience experiencing the text. Rather, there's a third step, peer review, that is crucial to the writing process. This video outlines 3 reasons why peer review is an important step of the writing process and why writing is hardly an inherently individual activity. The value of having others review your own work goes well beyond the benefits of having those pesky comma splices corrected. Having someone review your work for larger concerns, such as the quality of your content or the strength of your thesis, can greatly improve your performance as a writer if you learn to value the input of others. Take this example. Imagine your teacher gives you a topic, say ancient Greece, and asks you to take out a sheet of paper and list the alphabet on the left-hand side of the page, like this. Your task? Come up with as many words related to the topic as you can in 1 minute. So you try to recall all movies, high school courses related to the topic, and come up with 5. Pretty respectable. Then your teacher asks you to get into groups of 4 and put all your answers together. The first guy, who is taking a course in Greek philosophy during that same semester, relays his answers. The second member, a girl interested in the ancient Greek dramas, shares her list. The third member, a friend of yours, shares his knowledge of obscure ancient Greek politicians and leaders, which, up to this point, you have always thought to be useless. Suddenly, as an aggregate, your grade jumps from a 5 to a 21, a vast improvement. Well, in a way, your writing is not unlike the paper activity done here. While a 400% jump in grade is unlikely, the fact of the matter is that including the voices, experiences, and knowledge of others has the likely possibility of improving your text. But this requires that you change your mindset to value the input of others. Now, not only is peer review important for improving your own paper, but peer review is also an integral process for the way knowledge is made. There are several levels of peer review, ranging from massive scientific discoveries to the writing classroom. In science, findings must be processed through specialized communities of experts on a given body of knowledge before the research can be thought of as credible. In academic settings, journal articles are blindly reviewed by subject matter experts to ensure that only the highest quality of work is being distributed through their respective journal. Peer review is the bridge between what one writes and what counts as legitimate, credible knowledge. And it is because of this that it is important that you develop these habits of sharing your work. Now, this is all very abstract, but imagine an arena representing the body of credible academic and scientific knowledge that exists. Now, imagine a gatekeeper whose sole purpose is to decide what is able to go in and out of that arena. Gatekeepers are usually depicted as scary, strong, no-nonsense kind of figures, when in reality it is a group of academic experts on the subject that agree or disagree about its content and potential for publication. So maybe this image is a bit strong. On a consistent basis, academic communities act as gatekeepers of what counts as knowledge by using peer review as a protective outer sheath that rejects some work, actually most of it, mathematically speaking, while including only the highest in quality, only the work that best exemplifies the standards of the field and that engages in acceptable practices of research and writing. Now, while the stakes might not be as high for your writing, the fact of the matter is that while writing can be done alone, it is legitimated through the interaction with others. Just like the example of ancient Greece in the previous section, not only is writing produced collaboratively, but it's also affirmed collaboratively. Now, the final point of this video has to do with audience, which is something a bit more practical for your first year writing experience. In a typical writing classroom, one of the key learning outcomes is learning to write for a specified audience. For any given text, there are several audiences to which it could be directed. On the rare occasion, the audience is very clear and the writing is narrowly focused on that audience. But it's not always that easy, as sometimes the audience is not that clear, and you might need the assistance of others to help focus your work. And what better way to know if your writing is appropriate for a variety of audiences than to, expose it to a wider variety of audiences in the form of classmates? Without a specific audience, writing is general and misshapen and misdirected. like going out into the middle of the street with a message, yelling it at the top of your lungs, and hoping the right person hears it. Not good practice. Messages become clearer and more refined as you continue to subject it to review, like water being filtered time and time again. By continually exposing your work to people, you accumulate the reactions and experiences of many others, which will then in turn improve your ability to focus on an audience. In heeding these 3 points, you can begin to realize that writing is not a solely individual activity, and in fact good writing comes from the help and work of others. Writing is a social activity, and this is why we peer review.